Hey guys, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is the 14th of January. It is Wednesday, and I woke up this morning and it was 9 below zero. Now they had said it might go down to 1 below, but it actually ended up being down to 9 below zero. So when I sent my daughter off to the bus stop this morning, that was chilly. That was real chilly. And then the bus comes and picks Eddie up right in front of the house, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, so it was pretty cold. All right, so I had to ask you in the last video to do some questions and answers, so I'm going to take my glasses off so I can actually read these. And the first one's kind of funny. Mr. Rantech24 down there in South Carolina, he asked me, why do I drink skunk beer? Now, first of all, what you're drinking down there, Budweiser in the South, and that's all you guys have in bars down there, because I was in Tennessee one time, and I actually walked in there and asked, I'll tell you a quick story real quick in this. I walk into a bar in South Carolina. It's got a big old Confederate, or not, I was in Tennessee. Big old Confederate flag taped up on the back wall. So I walked up to the bartender and I said, can I get a Labatt's Blue? He says, we don't have that here. And I said, okay. I said, how about a Michelob? And he said, we don't have that either. He goes, and he looked at me and he goes, son, he goes, you're in the South now. And in the South we have Budweiser. So I'm like, alright, I said, give me a Budweiser. So now I know, that kind of feeds into why you guys in the South only drink that Budweiser, because that's all you got down there. You wouldn't know good beer if it jumped up and bit you. I drink Labatt's Blue, love Labatt's Blue. It's a really good, it's a Canadian beer, and we get it because we're right next to Canada. So that's, I don't know why you drink that, what I would call skunk beer, because I can't stand Budweiser. Anyway, so that's that question. The next one, Off Grid asked me, am I subscribed to all my subscribers? No, I'm not subscribed to all my subscribers. If I go to somebody's channel and they don't have videos, I'm not going to subscribe to their channel. There are quite a few people that I am subscribed to. Generally depends on the interest and topics of whatever that person is doing. Okay. Then he asked me, what are my top 10 preps? And I would say one of my top 10 preps is definitely my Katadyn water filtration system, just because it gives me that freedom knowing that I can purify water and I can make up to 24,000 gallons of fresh water with this little small system that's less than a pound. It's awesome. So that would probably be one of my best ones. My property, and once we move down there and we're living there full time, knowing that everything that we have preps wise is on site and we're at our bug out location, that's going to be the biggest peace of mind that I can think of. You know, God, teaching my kids how to prep, I think, is a good prep. To me it is, because, you know, I'm not going to be around forever, and passing those skills on to them so that they can learn what they need to do, just from the simple thing of making a fire. I mean, these kids today have no skills, so that's, you know, passing on that knowledge to the younger generation is a big thing to me. It's hard to say. I have so many different things that I prep. I mean, having long term storage, you know, with the number 10 cans, it'll last 30 years. MREs, it'll last 7 to 10 years. You know, vacuum sealing and then putting in the buckets food in those. You know, having that peace of mind knowing that we're not going to run out of food anytime soon if something bad happens. There's so many things, so this kind of gives you a generalized idea of like my top 10. I can't really put it in any kind of order. There's so many different things, you know, that I have that I think are important. Okay. Okay, and then he also asked me, what is my take on keeping medical supplies long term? Well, obviously antibiotics go bad long term. So, you know, keeping antibiotics long term is not going to work. Pain medications, they also have a shelf life, and they're going to lose their potency after a certain amount of time. You know, even Band-Aids will lose the stickiness part on the back of the Band-Aid. You know, but keeping other things, you know, your antibiotic ointments, some of those, they can last quite a while beyond the expiration date. You know, keeping medical supplies, I think, is really, really important for long-term preparation for whatever. You got to have bandages. You have to have aspirin. You have to have Advil. You need to have antidiarrheals. You need to have Imodium. There's so many different things that you need to have. It's really important that a lot of people don't think about. And being in the medical field, it's one of the things that I think about a lot. I mean, a lot of my preps that I have a lot of medical preps, for that reason. So there's my answer for that. Okay, so Lee 986321 asked for our trip when we camp out here this weekend, how are we planning on staying warm? Are we going to be using thermal blankets? No, we're not using thermal blankets. We're going to be layered up really, really well. Wool socks, long johns, sleeping bags, plus, we'll have the fire going, and I got a design that I'm planning on doing that I'll show you guys once we get up there to try to help radiate some heat into our shelter. He also asked about using the snow, and what I do plan on doing is once we have our shelter built, I'm going to use the snow on the outside to act as an insulating layer, and that actually will help keep it warmer inside the shelter. Okay, so and then he asked me if I was planning on building a hydrogen oxygen fuel cell, and I honestly have no idea what that is. I'll have to check that out, and if I did, what am I going to use it for? So that I'm going to have to check that out. I don't have plans on building anything like that at this point. Okay. James Pondiff asked me, do I live close to my property? Right now I am 56 miles from the property. It's like 56.5, something like that. So that's how far away we are from it right now. And then he also asked, what projects do we have planned for this year? And probably the number one thing that I plan on doing this year is building a shelter over the top of the camper, and then trying to get it boxed in. That's probably the main thing I want to do, because I want to make sure that that is squared away. Making sure that I get the pump in this year, the water pump, so that I can have, use my dry hydrants that I put in this last year, and having access to the water is important. Realistically, what I have said to my kids, and I probably have mentioned this in other videos, once we're living down at the property full time, and let's say after the first week that we're living there, I'm going to sit them both down and I'm going to say, okay, what is the one thing that you would like us to do now to make our lives easier here? What's most important to you right now? And what we're going to do is that's kind of how we're going to work on things. Whatever it's going to be, that's going to make our lives easier, that's what we're going to work on first. I'm obviously planning on putting in my solar this year, and hopefully a wind turbine as well. That's debate. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but we're going to hopefully get something like that going as well. It all really depends on how things go. We'll see how how it all plays out, but it's going to be an exciting year this year. This year is definitely going to be an exciting year. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be down there full time, but when we're down there full time, then you're going to really see a lot of videos, because we're going to be doing stuff every day. And I'm excited for that. The winter time's not a real exciting time. I mean, I don't think anybody would want to be outside today in 8 degree below zero or 9 degree below zero weather doing stuff outside. I mean, people just don't want to be out there. I don't want to be out there in that weather. So those are my questions and answers that I had gotten from the last video. And I'm looking forward to taking the girls down. There'll be a series of videos on the camp out, so I'll probably do quite a few. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.